Hello, Gene Schwimmer here. Welcome to today's vlog. Today is going to be one of my enjoyable days where I get to cite somebody who agrees with me. An idea that I expressed in an earlier vlog is now being expressed by somebody else, and this person actually goes a little bit farther than I did. It actually makes me even feel better about my original idea. So let me share it with everybody. This comes from a guy named Tom, and it's actually a comment to the end of another article. You know how you'll see articles now on the internet, and they have a comment section after them where people can comment and say whatever they want. So, well, unless you're on YouTube, then you can't say anything about the election. Or you can't dispute the election. Then you'll get, well, the vlog will be taken down. I don't know what they do about comments. Will they remove the whole vlog, or just a comment? Well, I'm not eager to find out. But, oh, well, this is a little aside. Let me just throw this in here. I'm thinking of starting to post on Rumble, because Rumble is a site like YouTube, much smaller audience these days, which actually may get more notice for me. I'll have less competition perhaps, but they don't censor. I could go on to Rumble and say whatever I want. So I may just do that, thinking about it. Actually, I put my songs, I have, you'll see, I always announce it at the end of the vlog, my music channel. I put all my songs up on Rumble, so we'll see what happens with that. Anyways, I'm starting to stray already, and I just started the vlog for today. So I had mentioned earlier, I had suggested that Trump should, well, my idea was that the House should elect Trump Speaker of the House. You don't have to be a member, you don't have to be a representative to be Speaker of the House, because the Constitution just says that the House will select its Speaker, and it's been acknowledged earlier in other venues, other articles, commentaries, that it's perfectly okay for the House to elect somebody, to choose somebody who is not a representative to be Speaker of the House. But this person went a little farther than me. I had simply said that the House should make Trump Speaker. But, well, let me just read you the comment. Here it is. I'm putting it up on the screen. So, Trump will easily win a congressional seat in Florida if he runs in 2022. The census update likely means the GOP picks up 5+ seats in the House to take control. And then the GOP makes Trump Speaker. Then Trump has control over the legislative agenda and impeachment. Fun ensues. And that's the part that I missed, or those are the parts that I missed. The first part was, yeah, the GOP, as I've mentioned in the past, because of reapportionment and people fleeing the blue states to move to red states, that conservatives are going to pick up, Republicans are going to pick up seats, House seats. I don't know exactly how many. I don't know where those seats would be, but it's conceivable that one of those seats could be in Florida, because Florida is one of those go-to states, where one of those destination states to which people from, well, for instance, where I used to live, New York, I went to Tennessee, but that's because I have family here. Otherwise, it could very well have been Florida, but a lot of New Yorkers are going to Florida. So that's a place where there might be a new seat, and that's where Trump lives now. That is his residence, his state of residence. He is now a Florida state resident. So he could run for Congress if there's an open seat without taking any seat away from a Republican, any existing seat from a Republican. Or I think Trump could even run for a Democrat-held seat, an existing seat, and win that seat too. That's possible, but the easiest path would be to run for a newly created seat that has never been occupied, that has just been created because of reapportionment. and then Trump is elected to the House, and I am sure, well, I know Kevin McCarthy, who probably anticipates being Speaker of the House, he probably would not be too happy, or maybe not, because it would only be for 2 years, and it obviously gives him an incentive to help Trump get elected to president if he runs again. But if he doesn't, I could imagine Trump running for Congress again and again and again, and just being reelected and always being Speaker of the House as long as the Republicans are in control. But can you see, this is what I hadn't been thinking of, or I hadn't thought through completely. First of all, of course, it would be very frustrating for practically all, I would guess, of our Democratic friends, and also the never-Trumpers, to see Trump in Congress as Speaker of the House. Can you imagine how they would feel? But also, when you really dig deep into it, well, first of all, he would have to be quoted, and he would have to be on TV, on the major stations. I mean, he's the Speaker of the House. You have to, at some point, the Sunday shows interview the Speaker of the House if one is talking about new legislation. But that's also an important part. The legislation. Trump, as Speaker of the House, would decide what legislation even comes to the House floor to vote. So, first of all, just the fact that anything the Democrats, anything that Biden wants, he's going to have to do as much as he can through executive orders, because if you have, well, in any case where you have a Republican Speaker of the House, it's going to be hard to get Democrats' desired legislation to the floor. But especially with Trump, Trump would not be in any mood, I would think, to compromise at all. But to get to the point of compromise, well, I'm sure you remember there have been many instances in the past where, in an attempt to break a logjam or to make some attempt at bipartisanship, that the president has invited the majority and the minority leaders too, but the majority leaders of the House and the Senate to come to the White House and negotiate. And then there has been, after the meeting, the majority leaders standing in front of the White House, in front of microphones, and being interviewed and talking about the meeting. So imagine that the Speaker of the House is Trump. That means Biden is going to have to sit down with Trump. They're going to meet together. They would have to meet together and negotiate. So just as the commenter said, as Tom said, fun ensues. I would just love to see that. I wonder how many of you feel the same way that I do. And then he would be, I would imagine that more emphasis would be placed by the media on Trump, on Trump's reaction to Biden, than on anything that Biden has to say. In fact, I even believe that to be true now, that the media are more interested in what Trump does or may do than anything Biden does and says. I guess we'll find out pretty soon. I understand that on Sunday, Trump will be making his first public appearance in front of CPAC. He'll be giving a speech. It will be, well, I would love him to say that he's going to run for Congress. I don't think he's going to say that, but I do think that a lot of attention is going to be paid to what Trump says. I think it's going to be covered extensively by even the liberal media, which is most of the media. I'm not going to get on that horse today, but I just see so much potential. I see all upside and no downside if Trump runs for Congress, even if by some fluke, and I think it would be a fluke, that the Republicans don't take over Congress, and if you have Trump in Congress as a minority leader, that still, I still see some fun in that, but I would fully expect, especially if Trump runs, that the Republicans would take back the House. And then, and then there's also the dealings between Trump and McConnell. If the Republicans retake the Senate, and if McConnell is the majority leader and Trump is the Speaker of the House, remember what McConnell said about Trump. He voted to acquit Trump in this second sham impeachment and immediately followed that up with a speech calling Trump morally responsible for what happened for the protesters occupying the Capitol on January 6th. So it would be interesting to see how they react to each other and work together. As I said, I just see all kinds of things being worth watching, let's just say that. And something that would be really worth watching for me would be to watch all of you. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Share it with anybody you think would also like the video. Got any comments? Comment section below the video where you can put questions, suggestions for future topics. I mentioned my music channel. It would be great if you could visit my music channel. There's a link in the description also. You could subscribe. I love getting new subscribers. But most of all, I appreciate the time that you take to spend with me. I enjoy visiting with all of you. I would hope to see all of you back again. I look forward to seeing you all again. And until I do see you all again, bye.